Alright, check this out now. Look at this. This little chapel here is the chapel of Agios Athanasios Obendashinidis. And Obendashinos, well, the Bendashinos is the river, which, I mean, it's difficult to work out, but this is actually a riverbed. And there's a dam further up, the Bendashinos Dam, over in Scarino, which collects the water. So it's very rare for this river to ever see any water these days. This little church here is the church of Agios Athanasios Obendashinidis, as I said. It's believed to have been built some 1,200 years ago. 1,200 years ago. And it's believed that Agios Athanasios, Saint Athanasios, which translates to immortal, is buried underneath here. So there we go. And why did I come here today? Why am I motivated to show a little bit of Cyprus's history to you guys? Well, the reason is very clear. The reason for me that I came here, the reason why I wanted to show a bit of Cyprus's history, is because 1 week ago I was in Lefkosia outside CYBC headquarters recording a demonstration against Cyprus Eurovision Song Contest entry for 2021, which has been perceived as a satanic song by Christian communities in Cyprus. So I went to film this demo, and I'm glad I did, because it seems Cyprus Without Borders provided the most comprehensive footage of the demo with English subtitles. You're welcome, thank you. And I wanted to come here because there was one banner in particular that a lady was holding, which I still can't get out of my mind. I keep thinking about this, and it was the the banner which read Cyprus, Island of the Saints. Cyprus, Island of the Saints. Kύπρος Νήσος Αγίων. So what does that mean? What does that mean when I'm talking about the Island of the Saints? Well, here we have a very good example. This is the chapel and the tomb of Agios Athanasios Obendashinidis. The Bendashinos is this river. You can't really make it out, but it's a river. It's a riverbank. It doesn't fill up with water very often because there's a dam further up which collects all the water in Scarino. But Saint Athanasios, which translates to immortal, Saint Immortal of the five-string river, is how you can translate it accurately, I suppose. And this is where he was buried, and this is where a church was built on top of his tomb to commemorate him. O Agios Athanasios Obendashinidis. So, 1,200 years ago this was built, and some 500 years ago it was destroyed by an earthquake. And judging by what one of the locals has told me, it got covered in mud. And a recent mudslide some 16, 17 years ago, there was a terrible storm, washed away the mud and revealed parts of this church. And it's undergoing a restoration program. And I'm coming here, I want to show people why Cyprus is the island of the saints, because whether you believe in Christianity or not, whether you believe in the Orthodox Church or not, nobody can deny its history. And history in itself is very powerful, not to just claim that it's the religion or something which is powerful. History itself is powerful. This is my argument. So here we go. Built 1,200 years ago on Cyprus. 1,200 years ago on Cyprus, the island of the saints. The island of the saints. It's a bit dark, so I'm going to put my phone light on, because this is where Saint Athanasios was buried. Inside. This is his tomb down here. It's very dark. I've got my phone light on to be able to record clearer with more light. An icon there of Saint Athanasios. I'm not sure if his tomb would have been on the right side, here, or the left side, here. And here is the way back up. So you can come out one end and in the other. But let's go back the way we came because it's a bit precarious the other way. And so there we go. Agios Athanasios. Ο Πεντασύνητης. Alright, so back again, here we are. In the distance there you can see the mountain peak, that highest peak you can see in the distance, Stavrovouni mountain, with the monastery of St. Helen and St. Constantine on the top of the monastery, founded 1,700 years ago. 1,700 years ago. So we've been to the church, to Agios Athanasios, where that was built some 1,100 years ago. This 1,700 years ago. That structure you see on the top of that mountain is pretty much built at round about the inception of Christianity. That little mountain, that mountain, that little church, which you may or may not be able to see the monastery on top of that mountain peak. Right, so I've been here already today. I knew that these little puppies had been abandoned, so I brought them some food. I might end up taking them home. And what have we got over here? This little church here. This church is called Panagia Yastathkiodissa. So I'm not too sure of the history, if Panagia, which is Mary, Jesus' mother, if she ever came here. I'm not sure of the history, but it's old. This is another very, very old little church, little monastery here. And according to my friend, well, my friend's grandmother, who is from this village, the sea, which you can see down there. Alright, so the village used to be up here. The village was built around this part, which is now what they would call the Gambo, or Gambos Tuhorku, because it's outside of the village. But according to my friend's grandmother, the ships used to fire cannonballs at them. The pirate ships used to fire cannonballs from sea. It seems really, really far away. I mean, I really don't know, just how far cannonballs could have fired in those days. So they moved the village down into the valley for protection, to protect themselves from the ships that were out at sea. And so why am I here? I don't know when this was built, but it's old. It's very, very old. And why am I here? Well, I thought it was important to show a little bit of history of Cyprus. But first, let's feed these guys. They look really, really hungry. Are you hungry? Let's find you a bowl. There must be some. Hey. So they're not completely left to their own devices. Oh look, and they even have some food in here. Alright, let's feed them. Hungry? Come on then. Bon appetit, you can eat. Alright, so as I was saying, why did I feel it was important to come here? Well, last weekend, today's a Sunday, but last weekend on Saturday I was in Lefkosia filming a demonstration which was a demonstration against RIK, the CYBC, for their choice of Eurovision Song Contest entry. And whether you are Christian or not, whether you believe in Christianity, or whether you're an atheist, whatever you believe, whatever your belief is, history is powerful. A story is powerful. And you cannot deny Cyprus's Christian history. And I was very upset when people were laughing at the demonstrators. You see it all over social media. All over social media, people laughing at the demonstrators, laughing at them. Well, this is the island of the saints, and if you laugh at the demonstrators, then you are laughing at Cyprus's history. Cyprus is an extremely important part of world history, European history, Middle Eastern history, Christian history. And so, like one of the demonstrators said, Cyprus has suffered so many conquests, so much suffering, and we never betrayed our faith, and we do it over a stupid Eurovision song. A ridiculous Eurovision song. And it is. And there's people saying it's satanic, people saying it isn't, people saying it's been misread, whatever it is. Whatever it is. Cyprus has a beautiful and rich history. Alright, and here is another one. Another piece of fine Cypriot history right here. I've been here before. This is the Panagia Church of Kofino. So this is what 1,400 years ago, somewhere thereabouts. This was built 1,400 years ago in Cyprus on the island of the saints. Like I said, Christianity has maintained a presence on the island of Cyprus since Christianity's inception. And here is the proof of that. Here is proof. This is proof. Proof. Let's have another little look around. Let's see the mountains around here. Again, there is Stavrovouni. You see that? So, I can drive 10 minutes. Okay, from here, like I said, this one, say 1,400 years old. I can drive down the road to Agios Theodoros 5 minutes, and I can be at another ancient church, Byzantine period, and I can drive another 5 minutes and be at another ancient church, all of over 1,000 years old. And this is what our history is about. This is what people want to celebrate. They don't want to celebrate having sex with the devil, because that is what the song is about. It's about having sex with the devil, and I've read the lyrics. She can hide it, she can sugarcoat it and say it's about a song. It's a song about a girl in an abusive relationship. Well, she loves the abuse, doesn't she? She loves the abuse. She is being abused by some abusive guy and she loves it. That's what's going on in the song. So whether she is singing about the devil or not, that negative message is still being conveyed. Young girls are going to be listening to that song. Young girls are going to be turned on by that song. They are. They are. This is what inspires them. This is what inspires people now. We are inspired by the songs that we listen to, by the words that we read and hear. We are inspired by books. We are inspired by every lesson that we are taught. And every song teaches a lesson. Every song teaches a lesson. And so what does that song teach? It teaches us that sex with the devil is glorious. And if the sex is not about the devil, if the song is not about the devil, which is what she's been trying to tell us, like I said, the singer of the song is trying to say it's about a girl in an abusive relationship. Well, if that is the case, then she has no objection with having sex with this guy who abuses her. She loves it. And this is what young girls are going to be listening to. And this is what they are going to be influenced by. And those people, all of you who laughed at the demonstrators, you laughed at them, then you do not understand Christianity, you do not understand Orthodoxy, and you do not understand the history of this island. Stavrovuni, right down there, 1,700-year-old monastery on the island of the saints. I Panagia tis Kofino, 1,400 years old on the island of the saints. We've been to the Panagia in Agios Theodoros, 1,000 plus years old, I don't know how old, on the island of the saints. Agios Athanasios, I've taken you to Agios Athanasios, 1,400 years old, on the island of the saints, on the island of the saints. And you want this island of the saints to be represented by a song which glorifies having sex with the devil. And like I said, whether you do believe it's about the devil or not, it's irrelevant. It's irrelevant. She said it's about an abusive relationship. Well, it's not, is it? Because you love the abuse. And so young girls listening to this, will that lead them to abusive relationships? Will that lead them to accept being in abusive relationships by listening to crap like this? So whether you believe or not that the song is about the devil, it still doesn't paint a very good picture, does it? It still doesn't teach a very good lesson, because like I said, every song has the opportunity to teach a lesson. So what lesson does it teach? There we go. Panagia tis Kofino, ladies and gentlemen. 1,400 years old. Let me come over to the left a bit. Look at that, on the mountain peak there. 1,700 years old. Stavrovuni Monastery, founded by Saint Helen. Saint Helen, who left Constantinople, or as it was probably called by then, Byzantium. She had heard about the legend of Jesus, so she traveled to the Holy Lands to see if she could find evidence of his existence, and she did. She found Jesus' crucifixion cross, and up on that mountain for 1,700 years has been a monastery with a piece of Jesus' crucifixion cross, which Helen came and brought to Cyprus with her. And you want to represent us by a song, with a song about having sex with the devil. Shame on you, really. And shame of all of you who laugh, really. Shame on all of you who laugh. You do not understand the history of Cyprus. You do not understand the power of where you put your praise. The power of where you put your praise. This is why we praise. We praise to give power, to give energy. So when you give your praise to negative things, then you're going to have negative consequences. If you give your praise to something positive, a good lesson, then you can only do good by it. This is why I got upset. People are allowed to believe what they believe, but don't laugh at demonstrators who go to demonstrate for their belief. Don't laugh at people's beliefs. Don't laugh at people's beliefs. And it's a common problem of today, I think. People will laugh at things they don't believe in. And I don't think people should be laughed at for their beliefs.